be also there for us.
We have games that are coming, build-up games. Big League is going to be going on, where of course you're going to be seeing Chirinya, the Ginger United, North United will be coming to Calvary's home at Midigo. Zonduparaka, the home team, will also be traveling away to, that is Chiyinda Boys in that is Gayaza. So all those are some of the games. But today there is one big one which is happening, where of course Rua City Football Club will be taking on Duparaka FC in a friendly that is right there. And then besides that, we have also the institutional games that have kick-started already. I'll be giving you more as we talk about that. But all in all, build up after the FUFA drum is what is going to happen at Greenlight Stadium. Yeah,
of course, the two teams, of course, will have to assess their players after the international break, get into the FUFA drum, particularly on the Paraka Football Club, because I think we don't have any player from the side of Rua City that, of course, represented the region of Westnile Province in the ongoing FUFA drum. Of course, some of these players, for a longer period of time, they have not been together with their teammates. If they have been together with their teammates, it has been in a different league, the FUFA drum, but this time, coming back to the FUFA, not FUFA, rather not FUFA drum, rather the FUFA big league. Of course, on the Paraka Football Club of late, they are doing well, winning their games back to back. 2 games they have won. The first one, I think it was against Chechume. Then recently, Agent Dasi Kataka, I think it's a good one for them. And also in match day 4, they did not play their game. That means after almost coming to 2 weeks, they are now getting to their one of the biggest game of the season, up against Chinda Boys. Chinda Boys, of course, a newly promoted side, but we should not rule them completely out of the game against Onduparaka Football Club. Matches on the Paraka Football Club, in terms of anything pedigree, the fixture is favoring them. But Chinda Boys, they know that since the start of the season, they have not done a lot. They have not done a lot in terms of collecting a maximum number of points. But for Onduparaka Football Club to see that they actually collect the maximum number of points against the team Chinda Boys, of course, it needs massive preparation, early preparation, organizing the friendly against a team that also plays not only in 4th Division League, not in 4th Division League, not in 5th Division League, and in the 3rd tier of Ugandan Football Regional League. I think that's a very big club. I think if they can be in position to pick positive result against the team Rua City Sports Club that plays in the Regional League, it will be a good one for them. It will pave way for them in the game against Chinda Boys. Okay, it's one big thing that we're seeing, but of course this Thursday, which is tomorrow, we shall also be seeing Rua Hill Sports Club welcoming Gaddafi at home. That is in Germany, and that's where you're going to be seeing a very big game, and that is coming through right there. So I want to say that all roads will be at Germany for you to have that game now. The side of Gaddafi are also warmly preparing, likewise to Rua Hill Sports Club that is also preparing so much to see that this needs to work out. What are you seeing in this encounter tomorrow? Yeah, the pressure is all about the Congo Rua Hill Sports Club, because for Gaddafi at least they have generated something. They are not in the relegation zone, they are not in the red carpet, but you take a look at the team Rua Hill Sports Club, they are down in the relegation zone. Actually, the last team as far as the table standing is concerned, though we have only played fewer number of games. This is going to be the match therefore for the both teams, Gaddafi and the Rua Hill Sports Club. Like I said, the pressure is all on Rua Hill Sports Club because they have not picked any point, but for the team Gaddafi FC at least they have done something. But looking at the weight of these two teams, the way I see this time, Rua Hill Sports Club, they come against the team of Gaddafi if they only playing the game in a brilliant way. But if they're also going to mess up in the game, that's when we will see a certain Gaddafi, a stubborn Gaddafi, coming up against the team Rua Hill Sports Club. They will grab all the 3 points. But looking at the weight of the teams, the way I'm seeing Rua Hill Sports Club, of course, they have in the upper hand in this particular game. All right, now, of course, Gaddafi is at the red zone too. Of course, they have played 3 games, and of course, one or none in right there, but of course they if you look at via the points, they should be also having no points. So the 2 sides have all lost their games. In that means they're not all that good to come through right there. Rua Hill and Gaddafi are in this encounter together, so I think it's a very big challenge. Yeah, it's a very big challenge for the both sides. Gaddafi, like just you have said, they are all in the red carpet. But what differentiates them is, of course, the negatives each team is having. That's why I'm saying Royal Hill Sports Club, this time is the right time for them to see that they put something for their fans, and this will make their fans to believe that they are not going to be relegated. Because you take a look at Gaddafi. Gaddafi is a smaller team that can be beaten by a Royal Hill Sports Club. You talk about Busoga, but you look at the earlier games they have played. They have already played some of the average teams. You take a look at the Busoga and Gaddafi at the same time. They're also looking at the Royal Hill Sports Club as an underdog. They know that actually they can also be in position to pick something against the Royal Hill Sports Club. I should say it's a 50-50 game. But yes, the last team on the log is, of course, a Royal Hill Sports Club. Just as they said, the negatives. Each team, of course, has already considered its favor in the team. That's Gaddafi. But it's a 50-50 tie between the two sides.
Now the question will be, are the two sides looking at the players who has the better quality? That's one big thing that someone will be asking maybe.
You take a look at the both sides. Of course, they have lost a number of key players in the just concluded transfer of Ugandan football. One key player I remember that left Gaddafi, of course, Bokekera, one of the key players they have been having in their list. That player left them to join a Rwandan side. But for Royal Hill Sports Club, the list is so long. In fact, 70% of the first team players that have been playing in the first team in the last 2 seasons, of course, also leaving the team of Royal Hill Sports Club. That means you take a look at these two teams in terms of quality. I should also say it's a 50-50 scenario as the two sides, because as the two sides they are coming to clash together tomorrow. So it's going to be a 50-50 clash between the two sides. I've already given some of the list is so long I cannot mention them all, like that one of Royal Hill Sports Club. Meanwhile, for the team Gaddafi, one player I remember very well who has been the pivot in the team, of course, Bokekera. I said he left the club. They already know that key players left each other. That's why each team is believing that they can actually pick something against the other one. But which one is going to emerge as the winner is what we are waiting to see tomorrow.
Okay, Busoga United is going to be welcoming, of course, the team of Mbarara City, and that's also another encounter that you'll be seeing right tomorrow at this game. And I don't know what you think about the two sides.
Yeah, unpredictable Busoga coming against a resilient Mbarara City. That's the first way I should put it, because Mbarara City, when it comes to playing against teams, they're always resilient. You will see them losing the game towards the closing edges. Meanwhile, the team Busoga, they are unpredictable, because the moment you will expect them to be beaten, that's when they will surprise you. The moment you will expect them to put something for their fans, that's when you will see them going down. But coming against Mbarara City, they have been doing well. I remember the 3 games they have so far played. Ever since the bounce back of the new season, they have lost 1 game. That means they have drawn 2, and the draws they have actually picked, it has not been up against an easy side. The recent one, I remember it was against a certain Vipers. That means coming up against Busoga, they have in the upper hand. But Busoga, they have only picked 1 victory. The victory came against Westnile based side, Royal Hill Sports Club. But you're looking at these two teams in terms of everything. Mbarara City, of course, they have an upper hand coming against Busoga. But I said, which I want to still stick to my statement, Busoga is unpredictable. Anytime they can also disappoint the team Mbarara City.
All right. After that thunderbolt thrashing of the team of Uganda by Zambia, they are back in Uganda. I've just got a notification from that is the FUFA PRO Hussein, who has said that they are already at Entebbe, and majority of the foreign-based players are connected back to their respective clubs, so they are not able to be right there. So that gives you a challenge over what exactly is happening right there. But Uganda losing it there. What does that mean for Uganda? What does that mean for Uganda and the local coaches at large?
That's what I mean.
2 games to test you?
That means
you've lost 2 games consecutively.
That means the entire team has not done enough. Remember, they have been preparing for the biggest of it, the World Cup qualifiers 2026. Actually, that is the reason as to why they have been engaging in these friendly matches. The first one, they were aced by a certain Mali by a 0-0. Yesterday, I even saw it coming against the team of Zambia, because Zambia is one of the best countries, we should say, in Africa as far as football is concerned. They are having a couple of good players. Some of them are playing in English Premier League, others players are playing in some of the big top 5 leagues we have in Europe. The best example I gave yesterday, who did not even disappoint me, was Patson Daka, who is playing for the team of Leicester City. He scored it twice. So it's going to be something hard for Uganda Cranes, because we are only left with some few weeks for the biggest of it to begin. They are in a very tough group alongside Guinea. You talk about Mozambique, so many countries that of late they are doing well. But in build-up matches, if you are not doing well, and I remember yesterday, actually this is a very big test to the interim manager, Mori Biake. So if he is not serious, he may end up losing that position to another person. 2 tests already, you have failed them all. So it's going to be something very challenging, not only for the head coach Mori Biake, so, and also for the entire team, because the rest of the teams with whom you have been grouped together, they are already eyeing you. Each and every time you get engaged into build-up matches, they will always be watching you, how you play. If they continue to pick defeats like that, that means the rest of the countries, of course, they will have that positive mentality. They can be able to surpass you, always go past you. They need to improve before the biggest of it comes, because they are kickstarting in November.
Okay. Of course, a very big one, and the team itself of Uganda, the interim coach said that Uganda needs to summon fit players. So how did he summon unfit players? Is also another question.
Yeah, that is another question. That is the reason actually yesterday.
So who summons these players? Because he said Uganda needs to summon fit players. Who summons players?
It's not only one person. I know most of the people might be thinking that it is the Moli Biake, or the head coach, who summons these players. But we can confirm to you, we have got a group of technical, the group of technical team who summons these players. It's only Moli Biakeso whose work is only to approve these players. That's why I said yesterday, of course, he needs to create that uniqueness. There is no need for him to go and adapt to the technique the already sacked coach Mitch has been using. But I remember yesterday you and Susie also spoke about it, almost going with the same tactics, same faces Mitch of course has been using. I think summoning these players, of course, will take time. Will take time for these people who are behind the technical team to see that the actual summon players that can be able to do something. But if they will continue to go with the same tactics, the same players, of course, they will also continue to fail. They will not be able to generate anything.
All right, let's wait and see what exactly will be for Uganda at large, but they are back, and we shall be expecting to see that the teams put things right away in for the country. Someone was telling me Uganda, does Uganda deserve even to play football?
They deserve. Does it mean each and every time Uganda participates in a game or as a tournament, there will always be a failure? I don't think. You know, Uganda is still a teenage nation when it comes to football. You know, how
many players in Uganda that you've seen, they have gotten themselves, let's say, to other parts internationally? They are playing well. How many players? And then, for me, I think that has affected us. It shows how we are.
Uganda, actually,
let's say top tier professional team, professional players have gone out.
You have brought a genius topic on the table, which I want to put my concern in. You take a look at the players of Uganda that you are playing, let me say, outside the country, or as outside the continent. Let's leave Africa, and we take a look at the players, the number of players that they are playing. Let me talk about Europe. How many are they? I think they are even less than 5. And they are not even playing in the top 5 leagues we have in Europe. Others are playing in North Macedonia. Others are playing in leagues that are not even known. Their clubs.
But still, that's what I'm saying. Professionally, you go to play in a 3rd-tier league, you go to play in a 5th-tier league, and you say you're abroad. You're abroad. Does that make sense? Does that bring something right there?
That's why we continue to say that normal when we discuss about Uganda Cranes, we always talk about it. We always talk about the time being given to these players who are not playing within the country. And let me repeat it again. we always see these players, of course, they have always been summoned. They're always taken as a priority, not even knowing whether they are playing, whether they're ever there warming the bench. But when it comes to the 23-man squad, you always see them being favored. They will always be at the peak. But at the end, you will see that for their countries in Europe, they don't play. And not only Uganda, you look at our neighboring countries, how many players are they playing in Europe? The list is very little. The list is just little. So, but we continue to believe in these players who are playing outside, not even focusing on these players that are playing within the country, that are playing within the continent. But we always have that belief. The Africans, we always believe that people who are doing it outside the country, maybe in Europe, maybe in Asia, maybe in South America, they're always the best because we are not staying with them. Sometimes we don't have that access to watch them. We always have that mentality that they are the best. When it comes to something, this will be taken as a priority, not knowing that people who are within, like you are next to me, our producers next to us, not knowing that they are actually the best. I have just been given that one as an example. That means the technical team, of course, has a lot to do in selecting the squad when it comes to a tournament like this.
It's by chance that Uganda is always right there, yes, and I feel Uganda, even the Fimbo Mukasas who played for Talanspor with this crocodile style, were by luck and by individual brilliance. Otherwise, you wouldn't see them. Uganda producing the Sekajas, their time by then were just that even when Uganda qualified for AFCON, I think, was because there were limited numbers in that time for the AFCON qualifiers, and you would see the strength. So I don't think Uganda really has that. Yes, I'm a Ugandan, but I believe in what I always see the countries in the previous. This is the 39th year that Uganda is going to be yearning to go into the AFCON. AFCON game.
To add on to what you have said, you mentioned something about the players that are playing outside the country. Let me take a look at players that are playing, might be playing in Asia or in Europe. You talk about the likes of Faruki Mea, who are even 30 plus. You talk about Emmanuel Okwi. These players, each and every season, maybe after 2 seasons, you always see them shifting clubs here and there. And sometimes you need to ask yourself, why is this player always moving from clubs to clubs, always finishing a season? Does it mean he is a failure? He has failed to settle somewhere. He has not been given the time. So, but I still want to go back. But when it comes to the summon of the 23-man squad, those are the picks for Uganda. So it's also unfortunate, like the World Cup qualifiers, Uganda knows they cannot make that, they cannot make the shift, but they are hoping to see.
They don't know that they cannot make. They believe they can make.
I don't think. If you ask, I know 70% of the fans of Uganda Queens, they know that they cannot make it. Even me, the only thing I know Uganda is going to fight for is to see that the actual finish in a better position out of the around the 6 to 7 nations they have been put together. They're only going to see and pray that they finish in a better position because they know that Desert Foxes, they are coming ahead of them. They cannot surpass them.
I'm speechless. But just because of that, let's take a break. We shall be coming back to give you more of the in-depth analysis still in Africa and what exactly is happening right there. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.